most of the damage obviously is private property. What we've done, we've set up, as we normally do if we have a storm, where there potentially is emergency funds available through FEMA. We've directed police and fire, as well as the public works forces, to consolidate their expenses associated with the storm, get them into Public Works Administration. We've had to call in Brad Jones's office to call FEMA on behalf of the town to see if there'll be money available, and if there is, then you'll be able to submit the appropriate requests. But I do have to say that the expediency of reacting to it and getting everything clear, at least from the public side, was really an outstanding effort. Don't have any sense of the costs associated with the overall cleanup yet, and have no idea about the extent of private damage at this time.
Mr. Bean.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. It just reverts back to the Berry Committee. I was glad to see tonight that we did start doing a program of recognizing Penny Richards, etc. And I'd like to ask that we do that for Bill Berry also at some meeting, you know, and I don't mean the next meeting, but if we set something up to him.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and the chair's just going to be very brief. Steve brought up one of the topics I was going to mention. I won't repeat it. Associated with the storm. Second is Mr. Hamlin and myself and Mr. Belaconis met at the State House to talk and discuss some issues related to the Berry Center, and it was a good meeting. I think the outcome was a great understanding amongst all the players, and I'm sure as we go forward we'll learn more about the progress of the project. With that, it's just a little after 8. I think we can call back into continuation of the show cause hearing, convenience plus. Oh yes, I'm sorry. I was looking for the police chief. I didn't see him.
I'm not the police chief.
Better look at it.
I think when we left at our last meeting, the police department had expressed interest in viewing the video that Mr. Key said was available. So,
yeah, Mr. Chairman, myself and Attorney Keys, the next day on the 26th, viewed the videotape in question. It does depict a female purchasing alcohol showing an identification card. But it's clear in my opinion and Detective Murphy's opinion that it's not the female in question. Quite obvious that it's not the female in question. And we did relay that to Mr. Keys that, in our opinion, that it's not part of this case at all.
That's right. His machine is not nearly as sharp as one at the police station. We used to girls that the pictures that looked like the girl, but then when we viewed it in this establishment was in fact not the girl.
so there is agreement.
Yes.
So do we have a recommendation from the police department?
I guess, Mr. Chairman, I don't know what the last action was by the board. I know there was action prior to
It was quite a while ago, at least in the summary report that was presented. It goes back.
I think there's been 2 violations.
There's been a period where there hasn't been any.
We had, I think that basically speaking, this establishment has been owned by the current family for about 12 years. And there have been, this is second violation for the present owner, and the other gentleman had 2 violations. Shadeen is present owner of the place, and he's had 2 violations. This is the second violation that he's had. And he's had it for about 7 years. Mr. Mayor, do you have any questions you have about this?
The only question I would have, Mr. Chair, was speaking with a board member, was there a question on the tips certificate being expired?
Yes, the problem that we have with the tip certificate is that the person that was working that night was tips qualified, but the certificate had run out after a 3-year period, and there's no provision made by the Board of Selectmen that I'm aware of that necessitates him to refile to get it, but he has done so anyhow. And I'd like to point out that Mr. Romeo, Detective Romeo, that he and Detective Murphy have given some very, very good tips on the surveillance cameras in the store. And one suggestion that they did make was that there should be one on the doorway coming into the store so that you could identify anyone that's coming through the door, and to move the camera that is presently there to pick up better photographs of the people that he's waiting on at the time. And electronics never had agreed to do that.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, again, obviously we take very seriously any violations of law in relation to selling of alcoholic beverages to everybody, or anybody, but particularly minors. And I'd like to be in support of the police department efforts, policing the matters. It's also a very difficult business, I recognize that also. We have to be diligent. As far as the tips training goes, I'm not sure how, the certification is through who, I forget. I've been on the board a long time. I know it's done, but I forget who actually certifies them. And is there any reminders sent out to people as far as,
Mr. O'Leary, I'm not sure if they're notified when their certificate expires.
okay.
I know that it's a 2-year certificate, it is expired in November. I don't know if they sent out a reapplication.
And then, this particular establishment, a lot of changeover at home because it's a family situation. I'm just thinking about other establishments out there. I don't know if we can, now, when someone is tips trained, technically, is the police department notified of that? Do we have a listing of tips?
Town Hall has a listing of everyone that's, I believe the Board of Health has everybody who's certified.
I'm wondering if we could put some mechanism in place. This is kind of a side note.
Go ahead, Mr.
If I may, Mr. O'Leary, what I was gonna suggest, and this could really help out in this situation, is that before we issue any more renewal licenses, we get a copy of their certificate, because they must have it. And they send us a copy with all the employees, and we go, wait a minute, employee A is expired. So it's
That's a
employee
good
A's.
idea.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
it'll remind us, and it will also
Also remind the
remind them.
establishment. Remind the establishment.
Because we're certainly not here to catch anyone.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's not too soon, or even too late, excuse me, but we start sending out the renewal notices to people, and so they close.
Send them a notice that they must
As part of the
submit.
renewal of
Yeah,
the license, we also want copy of the certifications of the
Exactly.
trained people.
it'll be a reminder for them and us.
And so that'll be done on an annual basis, and we'll just keep them, that's a good idea, Joe.
Yeah, I can see how this could have happened, the oversight of it, if there's no reminder, because I don't know if there is not. But this will give everyone a reminder if we do that.
I guess putting that aside, okay,
Right.
because I think that should happen. We still have the issue of selling alcohol to minors.
Right.
And it would seem to me that the owner of any establishment, to protect themselves, should be carding everybody. There are places where I've gone in and it says, anyone under 30 expect to be carded, or we won't serve you. So, I think that it's important that the owners understand, that the license holders understand that they have an obligation to assure that they're not selling liquor to minors. Now, if it's an incident where someone comes in with a fake ID, and, then the onus is on the person that came with a fake ID, unless it's an obvious situation.
I guess my question is, if I were in business and I'm thinking about it, and the same person's coming in multiple times, and you've carded them, they may have had a false idea, at what point, do you card them every single time, or do you say, listen, the reasonable?
Well, I think, I guess, I thought about
Other
this.
than, I just went to a Red Sox game, and when I went to buy a beer, I get carded every time I buy a beer, and I certainly look, no, I wasn't that flattered, because of the other gentlemen were looking older than I.
I thought about this a lot, because, you say, okay, you get familiar with somebody, and it's kind of human nature to say, okay, I know this person, I've seen the card before. But I think that where the selling of alcohol is a serious situation, that a policy that says, you card, they've got to show the card, no matter what, every time they come to make a purchase. It eliminates all of the potential for making a mistake. And also, if the individual had a fake card one day and may not have it the second day, the second time they come in, you're gonna catch them. So, I think as a matter of policy,
You mean board
convenience,
policy?
no,
Ownership policy.
owner policy in protecting their license, they should have a strong policy associated with how they handle people coming in to purchase alcohol. And I don't know what the tip, I've never been to a tips training class, but I suspect that within that training, that's probably mentioned. I can't see how you can just go on judgment. You got different employees in the store at different times, and I think asking for a card is not a major inconvenience.
No,
Asking for an ID is not a major
no.
inconvenience.
I mean, I think from our point of view, people may feel they know somebody, that they've seen them a lot and come in a lot, and they know them asked them before, but, this is such a serious problem, underage drinking is such a serious problem, and, we need to be committed to it. And I think that is something we should advocate, is that they ask anybody. As you say, I went to Red Sox game too, about last week,
Did you get carded?
and they asked me, and I joked with her, and she said, well, you look very young.
Because you were flattered.
I said, well, thank you. But they did ask, they do ask, it doesn't matter. And I certainly don't think I look underage drinking. I don't look that. But, no, it's a serious problem, and I think it's, that's gotta be our position, is that, we expect these people to ask. As you say, anybody under 30, you expect to be asked, and that's really the policy I think we should offer.
I've been in the establishment off and on, purchasing, and I'm not a regular customer, but I've been in there when I've actually seen the card, young looking, which to me bodes well. At least the activity level, due diligence that took place on these profits. I have seen the card people in the establishment, which is good. I can't say that about every place. And again, it's been 4 years anyway since the last offense, so I think that we take it, although it's still a violation, I would recommend a 3-day suspension.
I think added to that is the fact that, the limit was 7 days short of her 21st birthday. So, it isn't, and it has been a long time since the last violation. Given that, I agree with Mr. Leary. I think that's,
Okay, I would ask the owners or their attorney, what steps have they taken to prevent this from happening?
Well, we will definitely go on with have a sign made up to 1 to 30 in character. And also, we discussed with Detective Romeo and Detective Murphy, the fact that they will card everyone that comes in the store, regardless of how often they've been in there. We've already discussed that with them because, as everyone knows, basically, a whole lot of college-age people have phone IDs. I mean, they pick up the newspaper every day and they're studying for the registered motor vehicles and all kinds of things like that happening. And even some high school kids are. So, I mean, it is a very, very serious problem, and that they're willing to take steps to try to prevent it from happening again as best they can. And we'll have a policy that they will card everyone that comes in so that it's not obvious that it's a good idea to have that sign here.
Detective Romeo?
Yeah, basically what the Attorney Key said, that's the basis of our discussion. They have a policy in place, anyone under 30 to card, no matter how many times they're a customer. They have their surveillance equipment, getting the people coming to the store, so if there ever is a question,